Well, hello everyone, and thank you for having me on today's call. I want to thank Ian and Tony for hosting this event. It's really a great privilege for us to be able to come out and speak with everyone about the state of the world economy and some of the strategies that you can use to really offset some of the fear and even make a profit when things almost look in a dire state. Ian had first asked me how I got involved years ago, and I had started talking about my experience back in 1982. It was actually August 15th, 1982, and I remember it like it was yesterday. It's really amazing how quickly time passes, but it's something that stands out in my mind very clearly. See, I grew up knowing an uncle who was a coffee, sugar, cocoa trader on the exchange floor, and my first passion in life was to learn how to fly and become a pilot. So, with my experience in the U.S. military, I found that the military did not offer any kind of a significant income. So, you're not going to get rich going into the military, but what it did do is it taught me discipline and it taught me how to really maneuver and got to teach me a lot about people. And so, my uncle said, "Why don't you come and learn how to trade? And then you could save up enough money to be able to buy your own airplane and go fly." And that's the advice that I had taken. The amazing thing is that in a very short period of time, I learned how to trade and make more money than I ever would have made flying as a career. So it really allowed me to take on new wings, so to speak, and I wound up in the silver and gold trading pits in New York, trading gold and silver as commodities or futures contracts. And it didn't take me long. In fact, with as little as $2,000 in my brokerage account, I was able to turn that $2,000 into $1 million account in less than 3 years. I think at the same time it was a blessing. It was also a curse in that I was only 28 years old. I didn't have any responsibility to speak of. I was not married, didn't have children, didn't even own a house at the time, but had all this cash sitting in my trading account. It wasn't long after that that I got my $1 million lesson on how to manage risk. It was really when silver peaked out at $11.50 an ounce back in the mid 80s and then came down crashing to $7.50 an ounce. And it was where I lost almost everything in my account. Now, a lot of people would have looked at that as a great financial tragedy, but now that I look back on it, I look at it as a blessing actually, because I can really teach with authority, knowing what it feels like to lose a lot of money, but also knowing how to recover from such a financial crisis. Fortunately, I was young enough to be able to recover. It took me about 7 years to regain everything that I had in that account, but I knew I could do it. And not only did I know that I could do it, I now was armed with a very valuable lesson on how to manage risk. So whenever I teach people how to manage that risk, my partner and I, Rick Swope, really go out and we show people how to lose money the right way. And I know that sounds crazy, but if I had Rick on the phone with me right now, he'd be laughing right with me because we get a lot of eyebrows raised when we talk about it that way. You see, if you don't know how to lose money when you're wrong or when you make a bad decision, then what you're really doing is you're suffering, or at least putting yourself in a position to suffer a catastrophic loss. And we don't want you to do that. What's happening now in the world economy is there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of dark clouds floating about, causing fear and confusion and stress. Some of you who are listening to my voice right now might be under some of the stress. There's a new concern now about the possible collapse of the euro. We've watched the headlines and we see what's happening economically with Greece. We see unemployment in Spain is on the rise to, what is it, over 19%. And although a lot of people might fear the collapse of the euro, I think everyone should really relax, because if you think about how life was before the euro, which really isn't that far off, we were getting along okay. In fact, if you look at the Irish market in general, if the euro were to, let's say, collapse and you take your currency and you de-link it from the euro, you would have immediate deflation of the local currency. But if you think about the bonuses behind that, That would make labor real cheap. In fact, I think it would even stimulate the Irish economy because now employment will increase. People will move there because life is easier. It becomes less expensive. The same thing would happen in the US. If the dollar were to collapse, it would affect the markets globally, no question about it. But see, what I learned on the trading floor back in the days when I was trading gold and silver, I also learned that with every down market or every turn in the currency market or futures markets, there's always an opportunity somewhere for us to make a profit. And if you learn these strategies and how to make a profit, it will alleviate a lot of the stress. And you'll find that it's a lot easier to get up on a Monday morning looking forward to the day than to dread the day ahead and put your head back under the pillow. See, my experience as a gold and silver trader taught me a lot more than just how to make money. It taught me how to manage very tough situations, especially times of high volatility. Now, when Rick and I get there, we're probably going to arrive Thursday morning. We're going to take some time to get used to the weather. It's a little bit warmer here in Florida. We'll get acclimated with the time zone. We're going to be ready to go 9 o'clock Friday morning. And I will promise you this. There's never been a time in our careers where we set an expectation that was not exceeded. In other words, come with your highest expectations. And I promise you, you're going to leave those rooms that we're in and we conference in and we teach you. We're going to leave those rooms a lot better off than when we first entered them. This is a great time for you to bring some folks with you. You're going to leave with some very valuable information on not just how to understand the currency markets or maybe the world economy, but you're going to learn about ways that you can profit during down markets. You see, my expectation for the U.S. market is I think we're going to go a lot lower. I think we're at a point where we've reached what's called resistance. It's where the sellers come in and put pressure on the market. I do not see buying pressure coming in all that much right now. So therefore, I expect that we're not going to see a raging bull market anytime soon. In fact, I think we'll see just the opposite. And for a lot of investors out there who are just now learning how to buy and hold, I think we're going to change the strategy just a little bit so that they're moving from a buy and hold strategy to a buy and protect strategy. It's definitely shifted. And if you're still in the mindset of buying an investment, holding it, hoping it's going to go higher, you're opening yourself up to risks that you shouldn't be opening yourself up to. We're going to show you how to buy things that actually go up in a down market. We're going to talk about ETFs, exchange traded funds, and how you can position yourself so that if the global market starts falling, you'll still be able to profit on the way down. And not only be able to profit, but to do so in a shorter period of time. You see, our experience with the market guys I'm talking about, the market guys, Rick and I, we have over 50 years of experience in the marketplace. We've seen bull markets, we've seen several bear markets, we've seen people destroy themselves, and we've seen people profit greatly from the strategies that we teach. But if you don't know how to put the plan together, you're going to be, I don't know, wandering aimlessly around looking and searching for some other person's opinion. And I'll tell you, there isn't a guru out there that's going to be able to forecast with great certainty where things are going to go. I will tell you that my objective and Rick's objective is not to forecast the market. All we're really going to do is show you how to recognize trends, how to position yourself in front of those trends, and then how to profit during those trends while they exist. The other thing we're going to show you is how to recognize when a trend is coming to an end. This is really where our talent exceeds anyone else's ability to forecast. We have a very strong percentage of being correct in the way we read money flow. See, we're not trying to predict the future. We're just trying to read where the money is going. And one of the things we'll show you is how to determine when buyers are starting to slow down.